Hello, everyone, and welcome to another JaYo movie review. And I'm here with a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Becky Harmon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you. And we're going to be talking about Promising Young Woman.
Yeah.
Buckle up. All right. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what I like to do usually, Becky, is start with a rating between 0 and 10 of the
Mm.
movie.
Mm.
So, let's start with that. What would you rate the movie out of 10?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's right up there with some of my most favorite movies, so I'd probably give it a 9.
Ooh, 9 out of 10. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. Oh, I feel like that's pretty fair. Maybe
Yeah.
I should give it a 9 too. Yes, 9 out of 10. Go watch it. Watch it.
It's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what's good about it. What do you like about Promising Young Woman?
Oh my gosh. Uh, it just does such a fantastic job of looking at the culture of sexual abuse from a woman's point of view.
Mm.
And like I was telling you earlier,
Mhm.
I think of it like as the most feminine revenge story I've ever seen. Like you
Mm.
have all these revenge stories where people are doing violent things, and then you have this one, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody,
Yes.
but is pursued in an unusual way compared to those.
Yeah.
And so much of the danger has to do with the psychology of it rather than the physicality.
Mm.
So it's just really subtle.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so many things that could be said about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
What comes to your mind first?
I think when we talked about it before, the nice guy effect and the fact
Yes.
that they had all
Yes.
of these nice guy actors
Mm-hmm.
that you'll recognize once you watch the movie, and they are put into these positions where they're shown to be not so nice guys after all,
Yes, that
you
was
know?
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the way that, yeah, we were talking about, I was trying to remember if it was Run, Red, Run. I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
The documentary I mentioned to you
Yeah.
about the school in Steubenville, Ohio,
Mm.
where there was a woman who was assaulted in a manner similar to what is portrayed in the film.
Mm.
And so I thought they did a really good job of examining that in this film. In fact, they were actually even a little bit kinder to some of the characters in their
Mm.
portrayal than real people were in the interviews that I saw.
Yeah.
But and the score, oh my gosh, I love the songs they chose.
Mm-hmm.
So ironic, so many of them.
For sure. For sure. And actually, to talk a little bit about what is the movie about, because Promising Young Woman, the title doesn't give you anything.
Not a lot.
No, like it's like you have no idea what you're in for.
Hmm.
It's basically this girl who works at a coffee shop. She went to medical school but dropped out. She dropped out when her best friend also dropped out. We don't know totally what happened there between her and her best friend. We just know her best friend had a traumatic experience,
Hmm.
trigger warning, sexual assault, and uh, during medical school. And so now what she's doing is pretending to be drunk in these different places, mostly bars and clubs and such, and
Hmm.
letting nice guys pick her up, bring her back to their place, and, then hopefully scaring them straight out of their
Yeah,
behavior, you know?
yeah, basically is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so much of it kind of the movie really kind of plays with the idea of is she vulnerable?
Mm-hmm.
or is she the one who's, you know, preying on people? It gets very interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good way of dealing with the subject matter of sexual assault and like how this particular scenarios or these particular scenarios are not at all gray, but very black and white and
Mm-hmm.
very wrong.
Yes, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things that they did really well was they made a point of taking some plot points and, as you said, some actors
Mm-hmm.
that you would possibly see in other contexts in comedies or romantic films, and might even think that these plot points are funny or something like that. And then in the movie, there's a stark contrast to reality, and you start to realize how terrible it is that we tend to laugh at things like this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love, yeah, I love the way that the movie goes in terms of the revenge plot, as well as in terms, there's a love story,
Mm-hmm.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And even with the love story, um, of course, I've watched and know so many stories. I could predict certain things, but I couldn't predict the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much.
That's good.
Yes. Yeah. What are some things that you didn't like about the movie?
Oh man, that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought is basically none, honestly. I I thought it was all really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not sure. Honestly, I
Mm.
can't think of anything.
I didn't like part of the ending.
Oh,
Uh,
that.
but that's just me. I
Yeah,
wanted, you
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely you feel that way in the moment, but I just thought it was done so perfectly.
Mhm.
It just conveyed the message incredibly, incredibly well. It was hard to really regret it for me.
Yeah. It makes me wonder, like, how did pop culture and, uh, you know, just how people, how to say, how did it make people feel when they watched this? Like, and did it
Mm.
change anything? Did it change anything for people who watched it, especially boys and men? I think though they're not, I don't know if they are the target audience. What would you say?
Oh gosh. I'm not sure actually. I
Yeah,
think I think they are.
they
I
should
mean, I
be.
think it's pretty fairly, like, if you look at the way that the men are portrayed, I think they're
Hmm.
portrayed sympathetically,
Mm,
not just for the women.
right.
They're very relatable
Yes.
in a lot of
Yes.
ways.
Great writing. I thought, yeah, I said multiple times, especially of the romantic lead in this. Like, I was
Yeah,
like, super well written, super sympathetic, super charming, and also disarming in many ways.
definitely. Well, I
Hmm.
know that it was up for some awards.
Mm,
I don't know if it won any. It was definitely up for some, but most people I knew had never heard of it, or if they had heard of it, they definitely hadn't watched it because they heard that it was horribly violent and dark and
mm,
everything. And it's like,
no.
well, it might be one of those things where it feels more violent than it actually is.
Yes.
It's like
Mm,
that kind of personal violence, like you have, I don't know, the Matrix versus the Passion of the Christ. Like,
mm,
way more people died in the Matrix,
right.
but it was way more personal in the Passion,
Right.
and so people remember that as far more violent, of course.
Hmm.
And in this, the violence is quite personal.
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, for the most part, so much of I think something that they did really great is that there was lots of implied brutality and violence.
Yes.
And then you go through the movie being like, oh, that wasn't what I thought it was,
Yes.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it made you completely rethink your assumptions about people as well, and
Mm-hmm.
make you second guess yourself and reflect on your own life. Do I make that assumption about people all the time?
Right.
Because also with the nice guys, like,
Mm.
and using the comedic
Hashtag nice guy.
actors and the romantic actors, it's like, how much do I prejudge people that they're going to be good or safe
Yeah.
or sexist or not sexist or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that really makes you reflect a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I hope that more people than not watch this, especially boys and men, and that they realize like just being nice is not good enough. And it's definitely not good if you want to perpetuate um, violent acts against people who don't know any better and who can't defend themselves.
Right.
Like, yeah.
You know, I was just thinking to myself that I think one of the main themes of the film really is just about being heard and being understood. Someone saying, yes, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
You are correct. This is actually happening. That was so much a part of it.
Yes. And also the culture around, especially sexual assault towards women, and the fact that so many women are just, discarded. Like we don't want to hear their side of the story. We blame it on them. We and it's really dark.
Yeah.
And there are certain things, storylines, and that really stuck with me, like the fact that a woman, a dean, was saying we need to protect our boys. What about protecting our girls?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of the title, Promising Young Woman. It makes you reflect, because that's the thing that you get in court documents and arguments for all these men that have gotten terribly light sentences or no sentences at all for things in the past. Is, we don't want to mess up the future of this promising young man. And so you're watching this movie thinking about the promising young woman in front of you and what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing that I think that they did really well was, they chose a conventionally attractive, beautiful woman, and to show you how men treat, right? Like they almost become like beasts, like like a totally different creature when it comes to a beautiful woman that they find sexually attractive. And like they're not just objects, okay, to be like objectified, to be utilized for your own pleasure or whatever. Like they're much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they did a fantastic job of pointing out hypocrisy and what they call it now, virtue signaling, like how easy it is for someone to act like they're a feminist or they care about women, but actually they're worse than the guys that just openly say,
I hate women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it really makes you re-examine the men in your life and re-examine yourself too. Like, am I this surface level? Yeah. But this movie, the first time I watched it, I immediately wanted to show it to all the men that I knew.
Yes.
And so I showed it to my dad, and he was, I think, quite traumatized by it. But
yeah, I don't know how my dad will react to this either. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Maybe I'll make him watch it. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Well, my dad doesn't normally watch things that are all that dark, so I probably maybe shouldn't have shown it to him. But I want to show it to my brothers now, having seen it again and been like, they should see this. It does such a good job of flipping your expectations on their head.
Yeah.
And getting you to look at things in a different light. So
yeah, absolutely. And I'm please let me know what conversations y'all have after watching it, because
Definitely.
I think that's the most interesting part too, is like I want all my guy friends and my brother to watch this, just because I want to know exactly what do they have to say. Have they seen this? Do they agree with this? Because I mean, I'm lucky enough, at least I hope. I don't know everything about my male friends and my brother, but I hope and pray and I think that they have never been in such situations and taken advantage of women in that way that I know of.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing. I remember reading about a questionnaire, a survey that was distributed years ago to college men, asking them about various situations in which women were, it wasn't possible for them to consent, and asking in different ways, what was appropriate and what wasn't. And the researchers were shocked when they got the answers back. At so many men thought that things were definitely rape, or at least some kind of sexual assault were fine. And it's like,
really,
yeah, it was horrifying. Yeah. And it's just like, we don't really talk to our guys enough about this. I think we talk to girls about these situations, but do we ever talk to our guys and say, what would you do in this situation? Actually, I think that was one thing that maybe they were also trying to do with the men being so relatable.
Yeah.
Because from a girl's point of view, we're like, oh yeah, that could be a guy I would date or something.
That's
But
true.
from a guy's, that could be a guy who's your friend.
Yeah.
And what if your friend was doing that?
hmm
Would you be able to say no to him, even if he seems nice and
Yeah.
he's charming and you care about him a lot? Like
Mhm.
there's some strong male friendships apparently in this film.
Oh, there were. Yeah, absolutely.
Through thick and thin, indeed.
hmm Including like one thing that they talked about a lot, and I don't know if it's totally true. They blamed it on youth, a lot. Like I was young and dumb.
We were just
My-
kids.
It was, of course it's
Yeah.
okay for it to happen when you were young and dumb. And we also
Yeah.
know that a lot of the older, like the situations afterwards were from adult men and not from, young and dumb kids. And I'm like, in medical
Yeah.
school, I'm sorry, you are between the ages of 22 and up, where you're not that young.
Well, I think in that documentary I mentioned, the Stu
Mhm.
Bingle one, if I'm recalling correctly, they actually one of the guys who was involved, yeah, they got off pretty lightly, and he went on and he already was being accused of other sexual assaults at college.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if you don't stop it at some point, it
Mhm.
keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Especially, yeah, once people get away with it, they're like, well, it's not like anybody's going to really punish me for this, so why wouldn't I?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks for watching it
Excellent.
with me. That was
Mhm.
awesome.
Thank you for proposing it, for, making us watch it.
Sure.
Any last words to our viewers about this movie?
I guess have some tissues maybe, or some, some, what is it, fainting salts
Oh, it's wild.
handy, and
Uh-huh.
enjoy.
Yes, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know if you've seen it and what your thoughts are. And if you haven't, go see it. It's on Prime. You can watch it with ads.
For free, yeah.
Yeah, for free, exactly. I highly recommend it. And I really want to know y'all's thoughts, especially you men out there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this movie? Go watch it and
Sure.
let us know. Coolio. See you at another JaYo movie review. Bye, everyone. Ciao.